At the end of 2019, Europeans' growth was 0.1%. Mexico was already in a recession. There was a global slowdown going on around the world. But those are only facts. But now it's going to bounce back like never before as they put all these new abnormals into our lives. Fun, liberty, love, joy, and beauty. F you, don't you know who I am? I'm a slimy, lowlife politician. I'll tell you what to do, and the people follow. Heil Hitler, salute to Stalin, march to Mussolini, nothing has changed.
Barbie, you need to turn on the news.
News? Ews.
Just try it for once.
Symptoms of the coronavirus include sore throat, headaches, fever, dry cough, shortness of breath, and fatigue.
Coronavirus? Is it a holiday?
Holiday?
Yeah. Why is everybody drinking beer?
The coronavirus, or COVID-19, is an unprecedented and deadly strain originating in Wuhan, China.
Wuhan? But I love that rap group.
Citizens are asked to immediately quarantine themselves and have as little physical contact with one another as possible. Complete isolation is the key in stopping the spread of this virus.
So like a typical Saturday night then?
We repeat, signs that you may be infected are a sudden fever, chills, sore throat, aching joints, lack of energy, and in some cases, moderate to severe death.
Death?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some disturbing
That
breaking
sounds
news.
bad.
We are receiving confirmed reports that the infected are somehow transforming into violent and ravenous flesh eaters. For lack of a better word, corona zombies.
Corona zombies?
Yes, corona zombies. We repeat, please quarantine yourself as the number of corona zombies continues to multiply by the hour.
Your social distancing, shove it up your you-know-what. There's no proof in this, little boy. People all around, the wind blowing all around. The masks, the whole thing, the facts are there. You want to swallow their bullshit, swallow it.
If you look at the people who have been fueling this alarmism around the world, many of them are also linked to this global climate movement. And we've got people like Joe Biden saying this opportunity is about reshaping America, and people like Malcolm Turnbull pushing the climate change. Bill Gates is into it as well. All around the world, the big names of the climate movement are sort of hijacking this a little bit to fuel it up. And I think in the fullness of time, you'll see there's a different agenda at work, and that's why, as I said at the start of the show, the Greens are remaining silent because their work is being done for them.
Life, beauty, liberty, and love, altered forever. We'll tell you what to do. You will follow our orders. They're checking everything that you do, where you go, what you do, and how you do it. Isn't that great? Hey, little suckerbird, you afraid of being around people? You bunch of sick little boys and girls. These are the slimy little lowlives that started the freak war in America. They're the ones that started working at home, the Twitters, the Alphabets, the Facebooks, the Apples. They're the ones that started spreading the fear.
In the 6 Bay Area regions that we've picked out, San Mateo, Francisco, Marin, Contra Costa, and Alameda.
What is happening to those eyeballs?
We have a representative sample
What was that?
based on a lot of...
What was that? Talking about probably COVID vaccines and vaccine the whole world, which is part of Bill Gates' crazy billionaire agenda to freaking pump everyone full of poison. I commented right here, why do his eyeballs get full of reptile? Unbelievable. Why is nobody else commenting about this? What the heck?
And they're clamped down the hardest because they're little gutless boys. Look at them. Don't believe me? Look at the pictures.
When we are reopening schools, let's open a better school and let's open a smarter education system. And I want to thank the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We'll be working with them on this project. Bill Gates is a visionary in many ways, and his ideas and thoughts on technology and education he's spoken about for years, but I think we now have a moment in history where we can actually incorporate and advance those ideas.
KIRO 7's Gary Horker is live near the Gates compound in Medina, and Gary, this man worked as an engineer for the family.
That's what SPD intelligence found out, Steve. They found out that the man actually worked for the Bill and Melinda Gates mansion on the grounds of their sprawling 66,000 square foot estate, and that's where they found him and questioned him last March. The estate is behind us right on the lakefront here, but this is a few blocks away and it's as close as their security will allow us to get. But according to King County prosecutors, 51-year-old Rick Allen Jones was questioned by detectives about images of child porn and even child rape that were sent from Jones's home computer. We also reached out to Bill and Melinda Gates' foundation, and we did not hear back, so in fact we do not know if he's been fired by the Gates' family.
A former advisor to Bill Gates, Microsoft founder, has been named as one of the executors of Jeffrey Epstein's will. And that's not the only weird connection between the Microsoft founder and Epstein. Chief Breaking News correspondent Trace Gallagher joins us tonight for more on this story. Hey, Trace.
Tucker, part of the baffling history of Jeffrey Epstein is how he was somehow able to surround himself with some of the world's most powerful people even after he pled guilty to soliciting an underage prostitute and became a registered sex offender. For example, Prince Andrew was photographed coming out of Epstein's Manhattan mansion in 2010, 2 years after Epstein served jail time. And now we're learning Microsoft founder Bill Gates not only spoke with Epstein on more than one occasion about philanthropic spending, but also flew on Epstein's private plane from New York to Palm Beach, though Gates reportedly refuses to say why. And we should note the plane was not the so-called Lolita Express, which allegedly was used to fly underage girls to Epstein's private island. But still, critics wonder why one of the world's richest men would need to take philanthropic advice from a convicted sex offender, especially considering what Melinda Gates and the couple's foundation does for young women around the world. Separately, a former science advisor for Bill Gates was named as one of 3 executors of Jeffrey Epstein's $577 million will. 49-year-old Boris Nikolic says he was shocked to learn that Epstein named him and says he has no intention of fulfilling the duties.
As I go about trying to raise money for global health, which, you know, every extra $1,000 we raise for that cause saves one life. And so we are extremely resource limited. We can buy more bed nets, we can buy more vaccines. In that case, you know, I made a mistaken judgment that I thought that those discussions would lead literally to billions of dollars going to global health. Turned out that was a bad judgment. That was a mirage. None of that money ever appeared. And I gave him some benefit by the association. So I made a doubly wrong mistake there.
When we started this, yes, we have more cases than anyone else. Yes, we had this European virus attack us and nobody expected it. But we're not only going to change our trajectory, we're going to change the trajectory more dramatically than any place else.
And more on that slime ball, low-life, arrogant little tyrant, New York's governor, Andrew Cuomo, says he won't sacrifice human lives to reopen the economy. The argument is absurd. I think you're absurd. I think you're a jerky, arrogant little freak. Yeah, you sacrifice lives of people that are ill, elderly. Oh, and what are most of the people dying? Where are they dying? Oh, the people that were dying were already in their homes. Well, those are the most cases. You don't sacrifice the lives of an entire society. That's the bullshit that if we only save one life. No. You're destroying the lives of tens of millions of people, their career and their lives, with your bullshit, made-up crap.
And then finally, we'll be moving towards this mass vaccination campaign and continuing to follow. And I want you to know that CDPH is already deep in the planning stages around vaccination. We've already bought the syringes. We already know where it's going to happen. We're thinking about what that's going to be. It's all part of this plan. It's all part of this plan.
Look, when you're developing things these fast, you don't know the side effect of these things. And what we're saying is, we don't care about the side effects. We need to get this vaccine out. So it's creating some very important precedents that Americans need to be concerned about. First, what's going to happen next year, okay? Well, they're creating a condition basically saying, for medical fascism, saying, well, Gary, look what happened last year. You don't want to crash the economy, do you? We're going to have to vaccinate you. And forget the fact that we actually look at the immune system, that the immune system, the people who get harmed, it's not the virus that harms them. This is something, this fundamental, which I've been trying to harp on. Fauci, he's not talking about this. So we have an ignorant set of educated elites, and they're taking advantage of the American people, because what they're saying is there's this boogeyman called the virus, okay? And you need the vaccine to help you stop that, okay? Boogeyman, savior. Boogeyman, savior. Savior's Bill Gates, right? Clinton Global Initiative, etc. Big Pharma.
There are a couple of people that have got coronavirus in the White House, which of course excites an awful lot of people in the American media. They are very excited. In Australia, they are even more excited as they somehow count down the seconds till Donald Trump hopefully starts coughing and spluttering and maybe needs to go into a ventilator, and fingers crossed, something really bad's going to happen to him. Oh yeah, and because we're even-handed, let's pretend we're going to talk about Joe Biden. This has been a constant drumbeat that has happened all the way through this, that somehow, unless the leader you don't like doesn't get coronavirus, then somehow they won't understand the problem. The idea of cheering for somebody to get something that 97% of people will of course suffer as mild and get over, but of course many thousands of people have died, is really dark, really nasty. But does it surprise you when much of the American media carry on like this, that are pretending this guy's been nuts since day one?
Just because I think it is worth knowing, in all seriousness, that the president right now, in the midst of this crisis, is visibly struggling. There's something wrong, or he's just not doing okay. I don't know, but the president apparently just is not able to keep it together right now in his public appearances. And whether or not we were in a time of crisis, and we are, that seems like the sort of thing that we Americans should just all be aware of. Americans all be aware.
So I have the solution. Every study published in the last 5 years, when you look at vaccine refusers, I'm not talking about, well, hesitants, most of them we can talk into coming to terms, but refusers. We'll just get rid of all the whites in the United States, because Houston is the most diverse city in the entire United States. There's 7 Asian languages spoken in that city. I've been a minority for more than 20 years in the city of Houston. The majority is, we call Hispanic. That is not a race or an ethnicity, that is a political designation. But a lot of them are from Central, South America, Mexico. Guess who wants to get vaccinated the most? Immigrants.
That's what made Donald Trump's comment about bringing disease here so funny. They're at risk when they come here.
Immigrants.
Have better vaccination rates in Mexico.
It is the well-educated, in terms of pieces of paper that they put on their wall, people that have been here a long time, and it's very unfortunate. But I think we need not lose the big picture.
The big picture.
The new abnormal. Hey, what is little Cookie over there gonna stick that temperature gauge up your new know what to take your temperature? How sick could this be? And guess what? The sheeple will follow. The sheeple will follow, just like they follow the freaks that have brought on the greatest depression.
Silicon Valley has paired up with the likes of the Bill Gates and the big pharma companies and the control freaks to push vaccine skeptics off of the internet and off of the public square. They can't do it anymore. And there's a parallel here with the America First movement, because the more they try to squash these voices, the more they proliferate. The more that you tell normal members of the public, you can't watch that, you can't see that, you can't say that, what happens? There's a backlash. And that backlash has been phenomenal. I don't think anybody who has worked in this arena of raising doubts and questions about the conflicts of interest financially, the ideological agenda, the threat to parental sovereignty, the junk science that's been used, the cover-ups, the conspiracies. Yes, sometimes conspiracies are true. They're not conspiracy theories, they're conspiracy truths, they're conspiracy facts. But I don't think anybody who has worked in this area and has become an advocate could have ever predicted how huge the backlash has been. And there was a poll this week, I can't remember how many people it was, what the number was, but it showed that increasing numbers of people have stood up and said, I will not take the Gates vaccine.